Dedicated women's league to fill the gap between college and professional soccer. A league that's committed to advancing women's soccer, focusing on the development of the female soccer player during the summer months, elevating the competition to help each player reach that next level, providing high-level soccer for collegiate players, aspiring and former professionals, and international stars. Operating with professional standards because players and fans deserve an exceptional experience. Uniting players that inspire and are inspired. We are passionately growing the women's game. The future is bright for United Women's Soccer. It's time. Be part of the movement.
JP says it's time. It's 5 a.m. here on the West Coast. It's an early morning for you, Megan, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's 8 a.m. right now, which isn't terrible, but I'm going to be in 4 different time zones throughout the UWS season, which is quite insane considering it's just a short summer season, but, you know, we make it work.
And you ran for fun last weekend. Let's be real about that. You ran for fun.
I had a race.
Whew, man. So before we get started, hey, congratulations to Kaylor. He's getting married today.
Woo!
My
yeah,
goodness.
That's so exciting. I mean, if you're gonna miss a show, I think that's a pretty legit excuse. So
I didn't get an invite. Did you get an invite?
I think it got lost in the mail.
Mine too. Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the UWS Kickoff Show. I'm John. That's Megan. We're excited. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about goals of the week, player of the week, give you some updates on games, and we're actually going to talk with Edgewater Castle Soccer right now. Megan, are you excited?
I'm so excited. I feel like I missed last week. I watched the show back once I got done with my race, and I'm just so hyped. Just watching the start of the intro of this show, I'm like, this is just so exciting because the UWS is the platform that women's soccer needs in order for us to grow this game. And you've just seen the talent improve year on year. And this year is going to be even bigger, even better. And I'm so excited for it.
I'm not going to lie. Last week was hard because I tried to do it by myself. And I'm used to having all you guys. Katie jumped on. You were running for fun. I don't know who does that, seriously, for soccer. And then Kaylor, obviously getting ready for wedding weekend. It was a difficult morning. But
yeah, okay. I remember last year I had to do a show by myself.
That's
and
right,
then I had a guest joining me. I think it was Maya Jones joining me. And I was like, by the time she came on, I was like, hi, it's so nice to speak to somebody.
Yeah. That's exactly how it goes. So, hey, we're going to bring on Paige, Natalie, and Nicole from Edgewater. Let's have a conversation, see what's going on in soccer in Illinois. Here we go. Good morning, ladies. How are you all doing? It's great to have you guys on.
Doing great.
Thank you for joining us. We're so excited to be able to talk to you guys as a new team joining the league. What are kind of your expectations going into this first season?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think expectations for us are Edgewater is dedicated to building a community for players who want to compete at a high level and giving us some resources so that we can have that opportunity to compete. So I think expectations for us is we're building that foundation, we're ready to compete, and we're excited to be a challenger in the UWS.
A difficult conference that you guys are in to get going. First year, Megan and I have been around this is our third year now, fourth year. My fourth year, your third year.
Yeah.
So Megan and I have been around for a bit, and teams that come in for year one often struggle. Why is it going to be different for Edgewater this year?
I think something that's going to be a really big success point for us is that we've got a lot of really seasoned players. So a lot of hard workers and a lot of people who know the game really well and play really strongly. Thankfully, we've had a lot of people playing together since our team's first season last year, as well as a lot of newcomers joining pretty early last fall. So we've gotten able to get to know each other off the field and on the field as well. And I think we've had some time to build up and really get ready for this season.
So Edgewater is not like a brand new club, right? It's a club that has just decided now to join into the UWS with a semi-pro women's adult team. Why do you think it's important that Edgewater makes that step into the women's semi-pro game?
Yeah, I think, like Nat said, we definitely want to grow this into a bigger thing. Our owners, everybody who's put a lot of time and effort into this club have really want and put in the effort to see it grow and become a bigger thing. This in partnership with the men's team, we're each taking the step together each year to get better, put more time and effort into it and see where it goes.
Where does it go from here? That's the question I have.
All the way to the top, of course.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned in the beginning, we're just at the start. We're building the foundation now. And the excited part about building a foundation is we're only going to be able to like strengthen that community. We're going to have more and more women in Chicago who we're going to build awareness that Edgewater exists. We're going to give them an opportunity outside of college, outside of their other competitive leagues, to be able to join and have a foundation here in their hometown. And the level of competition is only going to grow. So as Paige mentioned, we're a competitive team. We're a group of women who love this sport and want to play it at the highest level we can. So the only way from here is up. We're really excited about it.
I love that. And now I've been looking at your guys' roster, and you've got players really coming from a variety of different colleges. Some from Florida, some from California, some from the Midwest. So how did each of you end up at Edgewater, and why was it that you picked to play at Edgewater? I don't mind who starts.
Well, all of us are obviously located in Chicago. We've all come from a variety of backgrounds. Some of it's been word of mouth. A lot of us play on rec teams together. So we've known each other kind of on the soccer scene in Chicago, and it's a big soccer scene here. So, we want to grow this team and make it better. So we bring girls out, try to see what they're like on this team to build the culture of competitiveness and trying to make each other better. So I would say the love of soccer is within each one of us, and we still want to get on this field and compete and be our best.
Yeah, and I think too, like learning about competitive soccer clubs was very new for me. I mean, it was only 2 years ago where I even knew that this type of competition existed outside of recreational leagues or co-ed teams. And so when I started doing some research and saw Edgewater and what they were doing and that they were creating a women's program, it really resonated with me that they were willing to dedicate resources to develop a program, and the time and the effort that the coaching staff, these are all volunteers as well. So it was really exciting. And as somebody who enjoys being able to provide, have a voice, I was excited to be able to not just play, but contribute to something that's being built up, and our motto is strength against the storm. And I also thought that was just, for lack of a better word, a kick-ass motto. So I was like, yeah, I'm on board.
The team.
Yeah, exactly.
Last year we didn't have to hit the cancel button until
sorry.
last week. No, hey, all good for a good conversation. No, I'm just gonna be bad time.
Yeah, and I think for me and for a lot of girls on the team, as Nicole said, we all really love this sport. And so I think a lot of the people here were seeking more, and we really wanted to do more and play more and be more involved in the sport. I remember talking to girls on my rec team, some of whom are on the team now. Man, I just wish we could practice. I would love to go to a soccer practice and run sprints with people. And I know that just sounds crazy when you think about practicing in college and your coach saying, 10 down and backs, and you just cry and sweat and do it together. But it's so good for all of us. It's so good for our brains. It's so good for our bodies and our community. And I think that's something, again, that we're really focused on here at Edgewater, is building that community. So it was just a really exciting opportunity to get us all back in the game we love.
That's
Paige,
awesome.
you
Wait,
can't tell if
I
you're
have-
crying, Paige.
I am not crying.
No, you
Yeah.
can't tell if you're crying when you're running sprints because you're just sweating.
Oh.
It's tears of joy.
Totally.
I have
Tears
a
of joy.
follow-up question with that. So would you say a lot of your players have experience playing together, maybe not necessarily on an 11-a-side capacity, but more in like those smaller 5-a-side, 7-a-side co-ed, maybe even indoor type leagues?
Yeah, I think a lot of us play on teams together, and then even leading up through preseason. I know we were in a lot of rec leagues together. Nicole and a couple other girls are wrapping up a season, trying to keep it casual, trying to keep it safe. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Jonathan, I don't know if you're thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, and you girls might not get this reference if you didn't follow the UWS, I think the year before last. This is giving me Lone Star Republic vibes. They've all been playing together, and they know each other, and they've built this tiki-taka team chemistry, and they're all hungry to play in a really professional setting, putting it onto 11-a-side. And this is making me really excited to watch this team.
Well, Lone Star Republic came out hot, and it didn't end. I think Edgewater has different plans for the end of the year. I'm actually digging the hoodies right now.
You see these?
We'll have a
Look
different
at
conversation.
these.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had a coach when I was playing younger. He said it was better to look good than to play good, and we always played good because we looked good. So there's that. But hey, let's talk a little bit about Cincinnati Sirens. They're heading out your way today. Big opportunity, I think. Big opportunity to kind of showcase the talent that's on the pitch, but also talk a little bit about the game day experience. The opportunity is there. What are fans expecting today when they come out to watch Edgewater Cincinnati Sirens this afternoon?
I think, like you said just there, a lot of us have been playing together. So they're going to see a fun team today. So we're going to come out with really high energy. You're going to see that fast style play that you would for 5-a-side or 7-a-side. That's exactly how we want to play and how we want to come out. We also, we're a little hungry. We want to make a name for ourselves in the UWS. So we're going to be competitive. We're going to, take our shots on goal, take our chances, and we're going to be strong on the defensive side. So the fans today, they're going to come out and they're going to be strong for us. We know that. Everybody's really excited here. We've got a great environment here playing at the Fire Pitch. So it's a great field under the lights. You can't beat it.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game tonight. And I think part of the reason my excitement comes as somebody who's living in Florida right now is the fact that Edgewater has a social media presence too. And so you're getting the word out about the game, and people know, maybe they don't know who Edgewater is, and then they saw a tweet and they're like, oh, there's a game tonight. I'm going to go out and see, let's check it out. How important do you think it is to have a social media presence as a team in 2023?
I think it's critical at this point. I think when you're looking for things, at least for me, my first default to know what something is actually about is Instagram before it's Google. I can Google a restaurant and it'll give me some reviews from angry customers. I can go on their Instagram and see their vibe, their aesthetic. And I think it's very similar here. We've got, videos of play on there. We've got, meeting the team. I think it's really important, and you can see what the club's all about. We really focus on and showcase our values there. And like you said, get the word out about the game, which I think is really important at this point in soccer in America, and especially in women's soccer in America. And so I think anything to strengthen that presence in our communities is really great.
We've talked a little bit about the presence off the pitch. What about on the pitch? You got a new team. You guys are new. Cincinnati's new. What's going to be the difference that sets the tone today, match week 2 in the UWS? How do we prepare for Edgewater, Cincinnati? What should we be looking for?
Yeah, I think that it is an interesting, that word new, because we are a new team playing together, but we're not new to the game. So as Nicole's mentioned before, and Paige, we are all very skilled, experienced players, and we all understand how to play at a high level of soccer. And we brought that into Edgewater since the start and since our first sessions in January. We've been preparing for this since then, together, committed, 2 times a week sessions, strategizing within the defense, within the midfield, and within our forwards. And we're at a point right now where we're just ready to show you all how hard we've been working the past few months, and it's going to be noticeable right at kickoff. So we're excited, we're hungry, and the expectation that you'll be able to see is a very competitive game tonight.
Very exciting. And have you guys looked at all at Cincinnati Siren? Obviously, it's week 2. They haven't played yet. They're a new team. Is there ways that you have kind of been able to find out a bit about the Sirens and what they're expecting to play like? Have you looked at the roster to see who's on the team? Or are you guys taking this game by focusing just on yourselves?
As a goalkeeper, my goal is to block shots. I can say that I don't like to prep myself in the way of like, oh, they've got a 6'3", 9" striker that's going to be coming my way. No, I'm just here to block shots, keep the ball out of the net. I mean, we want to define the pace of the game to start. We don't want to know much about them as far as, what they're trying to do. And, if they're playing more direct, we just want to keep to our style of play and see how the game rolls out. Obviously, we've tried to do our own digging about set pieces and, how they're defending or the way that they're starting. And that's just, what can we find? What can we dig up? But again, we're a little bit of a loss for, they're not sending us footage.
Right.
Wish they would, but maybe next year.
My daughter just texted me. She's 6 from my wife's phone saying, new friend who's a goalkeeper. She's a 6-year-old goalkeeper. She just made her comp team. She's extremely excited. So she's like, oh, I like Nicole. She's a goalie. We're friends.
Yes.
That's
So,
awesome.
best position on the field, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, her coach told her she has to play striker too. So it's like she gets the best of both worlds, right? Save the game, win the game.
Yeah,
It's just
there you
a whole
go.
different beast. Harper is she's a different soul, that one. So
hi, Harper.
she's still in bed, but she's watching. She loves her some soccer this morning. But listen, so we have seen, and we talked a little bit about it earlier, in that first year teams have a struggle in UWS. You guys have played, and so last year the champion for UWS came out of Chicago. Could we potentially? I don't want bulletin board material. Could we see a repeat in Chicago?
Yeah, I think we could. I think it's too early to count ourselves out and jump off of that. So I think we're all striving to be there at the end of the season. We want to win and compound on those wins week after week. And if we keep doing that, we'll certainly bring it home back to Chicago.
Okay, you heard it here first. I love that.
It was very subtle though. There wasn't bulletin board material like yes. It was like kind of like apprehensive, like maybe like we got to do it. But I'm excited. I think
like to leave a little bit of mystery. That's what it is.
The mystique is real for Edgewater. So where did you may have knowledge of it. Where did the name come from for Edgewater Castle, and why in Chicago, where you see teams like the Bulls and the Cubs and the Black Sox? Yes. Why Edgewater? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so I mean, Dags and Paige, if you know
White
more than
Sox.
I do, I know Edgewater started in 2017, but we actually have there is a sub area of Chicago that is called Edgewater. So that's where the club was established. That's where a lot of our support started in 2017. So it's a part of the north side of Chicago here. and I'm assuming that's like one of the big reasons too. We have like a collaboration with a bar over there. Our practice fields are near there, and so that was like a main start. The castle part, I don't know, Paige, Nicole.
Yeah,
you know anything about that part?
If you like these, you are going to love our goalkeeper jerseys because they are so fresh. They're modeled after the Edgewater, previously known as the Edgewater Hotel. It's this giant pink building right on the water. Now it's an apartment building, but our jerseys are pink. They have little windows on them. They are one of my favorites. I've been playing this game for a long time, and this is my favorite goalkeeper jersey.
I have a lot of blank space right here. You see there's goalie gloves behind me, but I have a lot of blank space.
There you go.
We're about to drop on social media soon, so.
Game day jersey sign? I don't know.
I definitely think like we have goal of the week, save of the week, but I'm thinking jersey of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. They are
like
very, very cool. I'm excited to
Kid of the week. Kid of the week, Megan.
Everybody has to send me their jerseys in order for me to make the
I like that strategy. I like that strategy.
I just realized I said Black Sox and it's the White Sox. That's how early it is. The sun's not even out here on the West Coast. I'm looking outside.
I heard it and I just was like, we're just gonna move past it. We're gonna move past it.
See, as a Red Sox fan, it's hard for me to call anybody else a sock, so it's hard. It's
I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm not from here though, so I must just be that. I was like, Red Stars?
It's like somebody calling Watford the Bumblebees.
Oh no. Oh no. Jonathan. Drink more coffee.
I don't have any. That's the problem.
Yay.
The problem. We went to last night. We had there was a Morgan Wallen show last night. It was like a cover band that I took my wife to. But listen, what's on the playlist today? How do we get hyped for a game? What is the go-to songs or go-to playlist that we have to get ready for match day 2 of the UWS Summer of Soccer?
We've got a good personal playlist that we bump throughout warm-ups every practice. We've got a lot on it. I couldn't even begin to tell you. I think we've cleaned that playlist up for game day. So you'll see a tamed down version of our personalities really coming through that warm-up.
More in sync, less corn.
Yeah.
I like it. Megan, any last questions so we can get our friends out so they can start getting on with their day? They have a 7 p.m. Eastern time kickoff for Edgewater Cincinnati Sirens at Firefield in Chicago. It should be fun. But Megan, last question so we can let them get off with their day.
Last question for each of you. What is your individual goal this season?
Yeah, I think, my goal is to, and it has been throughout my soccer career, is to just work really hard, earn my spot, keep my spot, and play hard, play well, score the goals, put things away. Let's finish it together, and really just show that dedication to myself and to my team throughout the season.
Yeah, I think for me as well, my goal is I want to compete at the highest level that I can, and I want to help make the rest of my team better, elevate the game for them. And also as one of the more senior players on the team, I also want to be a mentor for those that are coming in that are younger players and like share my experience of the game as well with them.
Yeah, I think my biggest goal is never to walk out of a game saying that I should have done something different or better, or I should have went into that, breakaway tackle better or one step sooner, or I should have dove farther or something like that. And I do also want to, be the person, the role model that's, wearing our logo and girls look up to on the sideline and say, I want to play soccer. I want to play competitively, and just being the voice of calm on the field. It's always a good role.
Yeah, definitely.
Calm against the storm, Dags.
Well, hey, Paige, Natalie, Nicole, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning. We really appreciate everything you guys do for the game. We wish you the best of luck in the Summer of Soccer. I'm sure this is not the last time we'll have conversations, but it is the first time. So we really appreciate you guys giving us that moment, this opportunity to talk about Midwest Division Soccer, Edgewater Castle, Cincinnati Sirens, Fire Pitch, 7 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're there, right?
Yes. Go Rooks.
Excited.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate everything you guys have done for the game, and we hope that you guys are able to start the season off with 3 points. We'll talk to you guys soon in the future.
All right. Thanks.
you,
for having
guys.
me.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Appreciate
Bye.
you all. All right, Megan. Soccer's back. It actually
Soccer's
feels
back.
real. Last week, we talked a little bit with Calgary, but today I think it brings a whole other mystique, having an opportunity to talk a little bit about what's going on with an actual club that's playing today. Match week 2 brings a lot of interesting dynamics. And what are your thoughts as we jump into the second week of soccer? But before that, let's go back to last week.
Let's go back to last week. Yes. Last week we had just one game, which is quite a lot of pressure, to be fair, to open up the league with all eyes on New England Mutiny and Worcester Fuel. And I think it's so, I don't even know what the word is, like, nice, for lack of a better word, that we started the season right where it ended off. Like, that's such a story moment. We're coming full circle back to where it started in Lusitano Stadium. And what a game. I mean, 7-1. We always talk about how many goals we get in the UWS. And I feel like the Mutiny were like, yeah, like, we're still getting it for 2023. Let us show you.
Yep. Well, I mean, last year we had over almost close to 500 goals in the entire league in the 9 games that some played. I think it's a whole different ball game this year. We're already at 8. I think we see double the goals with a few less teams, more new teams this year than in previous seasons. But I also think it adds to the depth of the rosters that are being brought to UWS. What do you think we should expect from teams this year? Do we have those teams that come in year one and they're just, it's like, ooh, or are we going to have teams that come in year one and they're like, yes?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued because I know historically we've said those new teams coming in often do have a difficult time adjusting to the level of the UWS. And with so many new teams coming in, can they go out there and score just as many goals as we have seen? I don't know. But then having spoke to Edgewater this morning, I kind of feel like maybe we can, because there's just that air of confidence and that like desire of, we've been waiting for this opportunity. Like, you might not have seen us before, but we're ready to jump in where you guys are, and we're here now to make a statement. So whether we can get that many goals, and I know you and Katie spoke about this last week, can we get as many goals as we've previously seen? I'm not sure, but I kind of feel like the way that Edgewater is speaking, they're going to do their part to get there.
Do their part, they will. We'll see what happens. You brought up the idea. We had a team 2 years ago, Lone Star Republic, that came in and took the league by storm, ended up short, losing to San Antonio Athenians. But what can they be like a Lone Star? That's a lofty expectation there, Megan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the way that they were talking really reminded me of the way that the Dallas soccer scene is, and the way that they've all been like building this chemistry in like under the radar games. And they've just been waiting for that opportunity to say, we've got 11 of us who are ready to step on the field. And then we've got a heavy, heavy bench who want to be a part of that starting 11. And so, yeah, I was just getting that vibe. And I'm very interested to see tonight how they play, whether it is that kind of indoor style brought to an 11-a-side field, because that can be really successful. But the way that we kind of saw Lone Star go down was at the end of the season, the fitness levels can drop slightly because you're used to playing those shorter games, those more high intensity intervals, not for a longevity of an intense summer season. So hopefully, you know, that Edgewater has that kind of structure to where they've prepared. They said they've been preparing for months. So to me, that indicates they're not going to have that issue, but it's going to be an interesting one to see for sure.
So Megan, we both have new opportunities in the UWS. I'm doing previews, reviews. You're doing goals of the week and players of the week. Who was the player of the week for week 1 in the UWS Summer of Soccer?
Player of the week for week 1, offensive player was Catherine Barry. And we know Catherine Barry. She made a name for herself last year. Just a clinical finisher, but also a very talented player. She's creative on the ball. She sees things. And last year, she scored 8 goals. This year, she's already scored 4. If that's not telling you something, that she is back making a statement, making a name for herself, because, she said people were talking about me last year, but people need to be talking about me more this year. And she's a very, very exciting player to watch. 4 goals in game 1. I mean, come on now. If that's not grabbing your attention, what is?
Yeah, four goals in one game. I mean, that's in bowling terms, it'd probably be close to a turkey. But I think she came out. She was striking the ball well, and got Mutiny off the. It was a great match, I think, for the most part. Second half, though, it turned up a notch. The heat really got going in that second half. First half, there was 1 goal to go. Second half, though, it came out, and that was a whole different ballgame in that second half.
Yeah, and I think, to be fair, Barry did start kind of under the radar a little bit. Like, Worcesterfield did well to keep her at bay, but she kind of just grew into her own. And so then in that second half is when we really saw her just like catch fuel when they're a little bit asleep. Like, the second half is just starting. They're feeling things out again, trying to find the rhythm. And New England Mutiny just went in hard. And another player who really stood out to me was Hope Santinello. Sorry, please let me know how to say it, because we're going to be talking about you a lot this season. Ball skills are insane. The link between her and Barry is exciting. And I think New England Mutiny have always been a team that we speak about, want to watch. They do really big things, but they've never quite got to that final 4 stage, despite having the talent to do so. So this year, they've really opened up that season with a bang and said, this year is our year.
Hope confused me because she played more of a 6, but then would show up as an 8. And I was like, okay, are you 6 or are you 8? But she played the role. Can we call it a 7 at that point? No, we cannot. But that's kind of how I saw it. She was playing a 6. She'd get in the attack, which made her an 8. It was an interesting dynamic, the way they work around her to get her opportunities to feed Barry is amazing.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And I think the style of play that they had was very calm and composed and really building from the back, but then getting the ball out wide and getting crosses in. And so they really are quite a well-rounded team that know how they want to play. And it's really going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be a case of teams preventing Mutiny from playing their style, because they're so clinical that if they allow them to build from the back, get the ball out wide and cross it in 3 times, if they do that, my bet is that one of those is going in.
Week 2, 10 games, 4 divisions. We're starting to see more and more soccer. Couple games this morning are being postponed due to weather and some other elements, but we do have soccer today other than Edgewater Castle, Cincinnati Sirens. Megan, what match has your eye today?
Yeah, well, just confirm for me that this game is not being delayed because of the weather. I have all eyes on Coppermine United and Lancaster Inferno.
That is a hot matchup. If you go back, you look at last year, Coppermine ruined Lancaster's playoff dreams, second season in the season dreams by beating them. It's a rivalry.
Yeah.
How do you start with a derby? How do you start with a derby?
It's crazy because these 2 teams didn't play each other last season until right at the very, very end, at the critical time where there was so much riding on this game. So they faced each other on the Friday and the Sunday on that final weekend before the playoffs. And so on that Friday game, Lancaster went into the game with that perfect record. I was hyping up Lancaster. They were playing so well. They're so strong. They're a physical team that were playing. They were hot. They were hot. And Coppermine, they were debutantes into the UWS. They came up from UWS 2, and we love a story like that. You know, our heart and soul are with Coppermine because we love a story where you can see the progression, then they come in and they rise to the challenge. And that Friday game, Coppermine drew 1-1 with Lancaster, and it was like, whoa, they ended the perfect record. And that meant on Sunday, if Coppermine could win, they could take the title, despite Lancaster being just set up perfectly. And in that Sunday game, they pulled it off. They beat them 2-0 and took the Mid-Atlantic title away from Lancaster Inferno. And I really thought that Inferno had it before that weekend. Like, if I had put bets on, it would have been on the Inferno. And then Coppermine not only took the title, they then went into the semifinals and won. They beat CT Fusion 1-0. And CT Fusion is a team that we saw in the Final Four. I think they were in the championship. So that's a solid team that Coppermine went in and took down. And then they ended up falling short in that East Conference final against FC Buffalo 3-2. But, I mean, Coppermine really said, not only are we going to take down the team that you guys thought were taking the title, but we could potentially go all the way. They were one game away from being in the Final Four.
One game. There's always that last one.
Yeah, so that's why, for me, I feel like both teams have unfinished business. It's a derby game. The rivalry is real. Lancaster Inferno, they went to the Final Four back in 2019 and haven't been since. I mean, that's got to be playing on their mind, that they know that people have this expectation of them that they should be a Final Four team. They've done it before, but they haven't done it in a while. And I think that the pressure that's on both of these two teams, because we know they have the talent to make it there, makes this game really exciting.
5 p.m. Eastern, Coppermine Norris out in Baltimore. Look, you can't start anything better with a good old classic derby. If you're going to start the derby, the fireworks are about to happen. Stay in the same conference out east. Flower City Union, new team to the UWS. FC Buffalo, Rochester Sports, 2:30 Eastern. The newcomer looks to host the semifinalist at FC Buffalo. It could be a budding rivalry. We'll see. Maya and DJ back for FC Buffalo, who ended the season 7-1-2. Flower City Union comes in with high expectations, hopes to make a big impression on the Eastern Conference in their first official UWS match. What do you see there, Megan?
Yeah, I'm excited for this. This is going to be a big test for Flower City Union. FC Buffalo are a very, very strong team that we talked about since they joined the league. Obviously, my friend Harley is a Buffalo gal, and so she's Team FC Buffalo. So I always get it from her that this is a team to watch. This is who she's cheering for. So I think this is going to be a tough first game for Flower City Union. However, if they can hold their own against FC Buffalo, like, even if they can go out there and get a tie, I think that really will boost their confidence to go into this season. Because if you can compete with Buffalo, I think you can compete with anybody in the East.
Hotspur out of Pittsburgh has changed their name to Steel City FC. They travel to Erie, Gannon U, in a battle of second-year teams. Erie Commodores are going to be playing host to Steel City FC. What should we expect out there at the Penn New York division from last year? That was really tough.
That was really tough. That division was the one that had like 6-4, 5-3, 4-4 tied games. Like, Erie, I think, is a very exciting team to me. And we had the opportunity to speak with them up in Philadelphia and kind of get the lowdown on what Erie is like as a club and how passionate they are and how much work, time, resources they put into their women's program. And they excite me a lot. I'm very excited to see everything that they do behind the scenes. How does that translate onto the field? And are we going to see as many goals as we saw from the Penn New York division last year? So this is definitely a game to watch. If you're looking for goals, I think this game is going to have it.
The rush is on in Connecticut. East Haven High School. Since our Connecticut Rush, Albany Rush, the Rush is on, as I said. Both teams last year, 7 wins total. Connecticut or Albany ending with 5 of those. Connecticut looking to turn their season around real quick. What do you got, Megan?
I think this is a good game. I think these two teams are well matched. And so I think this is going to be anybody's game. I think they were both happy with how the schedule turned out because they know that this is a competitive game. You're not going up against a team that has set expectations very high from previous years where they're not a Final Four team. This is 2 teams going in, can be both competitive, and we can see who takes it. So, yeah, which Rush is going to have it?
East Vastal, New York, BC United, newcomer to the UWS Keystone FC. Look, I'm excited to see what BC United brings. I feel it's very much like what Edgewater was talking about earlier. What should we anticipate for another season out of Keystone?
Yeah, Keystone had a good year last year. I think they really set foundations in place to carry momentum into 2023 season. And so BC United are going to be excited to play against a team that has experience in the UWS, but not well established. They only have 1 season under their belt. So I think, yeah, this is anyone's game, and they should both be very excited and very hungry for tonight.
Probably one of the most hyped teams if you look at social media. If you were to take social media and say who's going to win the season, that's Maine Footy. Maine Footy hosts New England Mutiny, who just put up 7 on Wooster Fuel this past weekend in Portland, Maine, Deering High School, 7 p.m. Megan, I'm excited to see what Maine Footy has. I think they have an opportunity to do big things here in the UWS, but they play a very difficult, very seasoned side in New England Mutiny.
Yeah, for me, I feel like if I was Maine Footy, I would be looking at last week and saying, whoa, New England Mutiny are a solid team. They are clinical in the final third. They are dominating in all 3 areas of the field. This is going to be tough. However, knowing Maine Footy, I don't think that they're really looking at New England Mutiny. I think Maine Footy are looking at themselves. We got this. And so I'm very excited for this game because I think that's 2 teams taking it a very self-focused approach. I think New England Mutiny will be looking at what we did last week and saying, let's do even better. Yes, we scored 7, but we conceded 1. Let's keep a clean sheet this week. That's the expectation. And we maintain our now well-known name for being clinical in the final third. And Maine Footy are going to be focusing on themselves and saying, we've hyped ourselves up since the moment we joined this league. The moment UWS posted that article saying, welcome to Maine Footy, they made a name for themselves in the UWS. And so I think that each team is going to take their own approach, and I'm very excited to see how that comes out.
Great Lakes Division always gives us goals. Every year, it is a goal show. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, Dexter High School in Dexter, Michigan. Futsal Factory, new to the UWS. Jaguars of Michigan, also looking to get their 2022 season started on the right foot. What can we expect out of the Great Lakes Division with this matchup? Futsal Factory, Michigan Jaguars.
Yeah, this interests me because Futsal Factory makes you think of futsal, obviously, and UWS is not a futsal league. So this, to me, means that they're a team that is used to playing a different game, but they're now going to translate it into an 11-a-side match, and that's intriguing. So, yeah, I don't know how this one's going to play out. I don't know if we're going to get quite as many goals as we have seen in the Great Lakes Division when you've got a team that is used to playing on a much smaller field, getting a lot more opportunities to shoot, open it up into an 11-a-side field. How often can they get in front of that goal to score as many goals as we know the Great Lakes Division can? But I'm all for it for them proving me wrong.
As a soccer coach, Futsal Factory helps with the foot skill, gets you going. It's a different cardio session. I think they're going to come out and they're going to do great. I think the way they'll move the ball and the way they'll play as a team is much more compact, right? We talk about Troy Flannery, coach of one of the former clubs, talked about front foot football. Say that 5 times fast. And it's about being on the front foot. I think Futsal Factory comes in. This is going to be a very difficult league. Corktown, which is then became Corktown Hawks, which is now the Michigan Hawks, have ruled that division along with the Nationals FC. It'll be interesting to see if Futsal Factory can play a role in kind of mixing up the conference a little bit. We'll see what happens. Last matchup of the weekend, tomorrow, Sunday, the 21st, Schoolcraft College. The Michigan Hawks prepare for the 2023 campaign like every other year, I could say. Lots of in-house expectations. Often the bridesmaid, never the bride, this club. They're always looking to get over that hump in terms of getting to the national championship opportunity. Is this the year that we see Michigan Hawks put it together and get there?
Yeah, I think each year their name is getting bigger. They're like expanding the area. So now they're the whole of Michigan. And so this year, I think the name is going to help them win. And if they don't, then next year I'm placing my bets that they'll come back with a new name, maybe like North America Hawks.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's close. But Livonia City is the new club that comes in. They're going to take them on. Livonia City often having the established men's name, but now in the women's side, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Megan, based off of what we've seen in the past, how does that normally translate? What do you see out of these clubs that have established men's sides, whether it is in the leagues that they're part of? I think it's the Midwest Premier League is what Livonia City used to be in. Now they're part of another conference. Shout out to Joe Johnston for that. Little nugget of information. But Livonia City being a year one with a men's club, what can we expect? Edgewater's on the same boat.
Yeah, I think a lot of times when these men's clubs introduce a women's team into the UWS, we see a very well-rounded team. A team that is putting their resources from the men's side fully into the women's. So they're looking at strength and conditioning throughout the week, multiple training sessions a week, potentially even that psychological side of things, because they do have access to a lot of resources being a larger club. And the thing that really stands out to me of those clubs that we have with double men's and women's is the fans. A lot of times those double side teams bring with them all the fans from the men's game to the women's game. And so the stadium is electric. And how important is that to carry you through an intense season like the UWS?
It is a different beast altogether, right? If you can pull fans and it changes the atmosphere of the game day and changes the dynamic of the game, in my opinion. And when you have people paying attention and watching and they're in the stands, you're like, oh, okay. I'm not playing in front of mom and dad. I'm playing in front of my entire community, which is actually really amazing.
Yeah, I will never forget my first season truly involved in the UWS. And I watched Detroit City FC, who are no longer playing with us. However, their stadium and their fans were just insane. And I was like, whoa, this league is legit. Like, we're bringing huge crowds, and not just crowds of people who are, mom and dad watching on the sideline. No. This is people who are coming with their drums, with their smoke, with their fireworks, with their flags to create an atmosphere and cheer on these women who are so talented. And that's exactly what they deserve to be having watching them play, because the talent is there and the people are coming to see that. So, yeah, it's going to be cool to see how the stadiums look this season. I know there's been a lot of promotion this year on social media from a variety of different teams. So, very excited for that.
Have you been paying attention to your goal of the week nominations?
Oh, yeah. Last I checked, Kat Barry's first goal was leading. How are we looking right now?
60% for that goal, 10% for her second goal, and 67%, or 67th minute, Erica Dimmick, 30%. So it's getting there. It's getting there. You might have a winner by the end of the day.
Ooh, it's exciting stuff. Make sure you get on over to either Twitter or to Instagram to get your votes in. Share it on your story. Tell your friends about it. We want to get as many people voting in on this. We're going to have goal of the week each week, and hopefully save of the week if we can get those submissions too. And, you know, every single player deserves to be highlighted when they score a banger. And that is what I am here to do. So you let me know. If you see a banger, tag me, send it to me. You know I want to see these goals.
Well, hey, you know what? You know what we should do? We should see those goals. So here, brought to you by Biñho, goal of the week. Here we go. Let's see if we can actually make this happen because I don't have the actual video. I'm stealing it. Don't tell Stephanie. I'm stealing it from Twitter. Here we go. All right, so let's go ahead and full screen this. All right, first goal. Let me back it up here. All right, first goal. Goal of the week, week 1. Catherine Berry.
Love it. When it hits the post and goes in, so satisfying.
It looks good, right? I mean, anytime you can chip a keeper from 40, 35, we'll call it 35. It looks good. It looks good.
That's a solid finish.
Goal number 2 coming in. Kind of an easy one there, Megan. Picking easy goals here this week. A little chip of the keeper there for Erica. There's your goals of the week for you.
That's your goals of the week. I mean, that's
UWS.
three very different goals. You know, you've got a outside of the box, like top corner type goal. You've got one where players got to find space to actually get a shot away. And then you've got that final one where it's like 50-50 with the goalkeeper. Who's going to be brave? Who's going to come out on top? So I think this week we really saw variety. A lot of weeks, goal of the week, we'll see multiple upper 90 ones. Who did it better? How upper 90 was it? Is it top ends? Is it not quite there? But, you know, whatever you see that gets your heart racing, that makes you get the goosebumps when you see it, that strike is just unreal. Send it to me, you know? You never know what's going to make it in. So I'm excited.
I think Nicole brings your save of the week today. I'm calling it. Look, we're going to bring the show, the kickoff show mystique. She's going to have herself a day. She's going to get a clean sheet, and she's going to make some tremendous saves. I'm just calling it.
Yeah, I love it. And I know that Hoff is going to be cheering her on that whole game now.
Yep. Now, Harper's got it in the bag. She's ready. She'll actually probably watch the game. We have to go to the Bay Area, but I'm sure she'll watch on the way down. We'll see what happens. Everything else good? Soccer-wise?
Everything else is great. I mean, what more can you want? The Summer of Soccer is back. It's starting up. It's ramping up this week. We had one game, which was kind of a little introduction into what we can expect. And this week, we're really kicking things off. So, yeah, this is a good weekend. All our games are going to be on 11 Sports. Make sure you've got that link. Make sure you're following all of the teams for game updates. Let's do it.
Megan, one team that you're excited to see this year in the Summer of Soccer that we didn't talk about today.
I think you can probably guess what team I'm going to say. SC Blue Heat.
I knew you were going there.
The team that every year captivates the fans because the style of play that they have, the speed of play that they have, the roster that they have, every year they come back and they get better. And they probably feel like they fell short last year.
Ooh.
And I'm very, very excited to see what they come up with this year. The West Conference.
I'm gonna get bulletin board material. I'm sure Carlos heard what you just said. He's gonna have that on the board. Be like, yes, we loaded, but fell short. Yes.
The West Conference is a conference that we haven't spoken about. They're not starting this weekend. However, we're gonna take a few minutes here because SC Blue Heat is the team that I said. However, Calgary is very much a team that I also could have said just now. And don't count out FC Arizona coming back for season 2.
I like some FC Arizona. I think it's gonna be good. But I'm gonna call a sleeper. I'm gonna say Reno. I got to see Reno play last year in the UWS League 2 against some teams that were pretty good. But it's different when we don't have a team in Colorado. It's different when you play soccer in altitude and you have the background and the beauty of Tahoe. You know, in sports, they talk about the Vegas flu or the New Orleans flu. Hey, Reno brings a different game because it's a different story when you get to Tahoe. here in Northern California. And you spend some time out in the lake, you get a little sunburnt, you're ready to go because you got some time between matches. You get in, you relax. I think Reno is one to watch out for.
Okay. Yeah, I have not had the opportunity to really see them play. I don't know what they're about. All I can tell them is that they're going into a very competitive conference that, I mean, it's different, right? Because I think every conference really does have a name for themselves. Like the East Conference is that like battling conference where it's anybody's game. The games are always really close. The Central Conference is really that like goals, goals, goals. They always have such a high number of goals. The West Conference, for me, what comes to mind is a team is always coming through, coming in hot.
5 of the last 6 years, there's been a representative in the finals that come from the Western Conference. And you could say Houston was because it was before we realigned, but Houston was a part of the Western Conference the year before. So you could essentially say 6 out of the 6 years that UWS has been around with a national championship, that the winner has come from the Western Conference or a finalist have come from the Western Conference.
That's pretty impressive.
So we shall see. The Summer of Soccer is just now kicking up. We are ready. We hope you guys enjoyed today. And we're excited for some soccer here in the UWS in 2023. Megan's got some fun announcements to make here in the next couple of days. She's got an article coming out hopefully this week or next regarding the national championship.
Yeah, stay tuned for that.
Ooh.
If we can get people coming out for the national championship, I think you guys are going to want to see this, you know. The only reason that the viewership is going to go down online is because more people are traveling to attend the game in person. That's all I'm saying, because we're getting bigger and better every single year.
Bring your sunblock. It's ready to go. Summer of Soccer, UWS 2023. Megan, thanks for joining me this morning. Really appreciate it. I'm excited. This is going to be a good season.
It's going to be a great season. Thanks so much for having me. I'm back. I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go. Bangers only. Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, hey, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to join us this morning. Check out our friends at Dutig 11 and Biñho, the flick board that is the best board. And we'll see you guys all next week on the UWS Kickoff Show. Until then, everybody, cheers and enjoy your Summer of Soccer weekend for match week 2. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of the day.